One man's wrong directions nearly ended Sophie's anniversary entirely.
Okay, wait. In my defense, the restaurant names were practically identical.
He sent me to a car park under a bridge in my best dress.
Inspired by the kind of story you'd find on Reddit, and today's is a good one. Did you know that studies suggest nearly 1 in 3 people confidently give directions to a place they have actually never been? 1 in 3, 33% of people just winging it, pointing strangers into the unknown.
Okay, but honestly, that number feels low to me. I feel like it should be higher. Way higher. I am absolutely in that 33% and I am not ashamed.
You are absolutely not ashamed, and that is exactly the problem, Jake. Because one of those confidently wrong direction givers nearly destroyed my anniversary dinner, and that person was sat right next to me in this very studio.
And that, dear listeners, is where our story begins. Picture the scene, a warm Friday evening in the city center. Sophie and her partner are celebrating their anniversary, a proper, planned, book-tweaks-in-advance occasion. And Jake is about to become the villain of the evening without even leaving his sofa.
Okay, villain is a strong word. I prefer uninformed helper, or an enthusiastic volunteer who lacked certain key geographical facts.
You sent me to the wrong end of town, Jake. The completely, entirely not even close wrong end of town.
Now for context, Sophie had booked a restaurant called The Lantern, a lovely little Italian place, candlelit, proper cloth napkins, the works. However, Sophie had forgotten to save the address. So, running slightly late, she did what many of us do in a moment of panic. She rang Jake.
And I was so ready to help. I picked up immediately. I was like, yes, The Lantern. I know exactly where that is. Go straight ahead down the high street. Then turn left at the big roundabout.
Go straight ahead, turn left at the roundabout. I wrote it down and everything. I was dead confident.
Now let's pause here for our first vocabulary moment, because Jake has just used 2 very important phrases for giving directions. Go straight ahead means to continue walking or driving in the same direction without turning, and turn left means to change your direction to the left side. Simple enough. The problem, of course, was not the vocabulary. The problem was Jake.
In my defense, and I do have a defense, I was thinking of a completely different restaurant. There is a place called the Lighthouse, which is also a restaurant, also in the city center, and I had been there once, maybe 2 years ago, and I was like, yeah, I basically know the area.
The lighthouse, Jake. That's not even a similar name. That's not even close.
They both have the word the in them, and they both have an L, and honestly, in my head, it made total sense.
So Sophie follows Jake's directions with complete faith. She goes straight ahead down the high street, she turns left at the roundabout, and she walks for approximately 8 minutes before arriving at a chicken shop. Not an Italian restaurant, a chicken shop.
A chicken shop with a neon sign and a queue out the door. And my partner is already at the actual restaurant, the real one, texting me going, "Where are you, love? Our table's ready." And I'm stood outside a chicken shop in my nice dress.
Okay, but to be fair, a chicken shop on your anniversary is kind of a fun story.
Do not finish that sentence.
Sophie, to her credit, did not give up. She stopped a very kind gentleman on the pavement and asked him if he knew where the lantern was. And this is where the evening gets even more complicated, because the gentleman knew exactly where it was, but his directions were, shall we say, elaborate.
He said, "Right, okay," he said. "Go back the way you came, take the second turning on the right, go past the old post office, which is now a gym, then at the crossroads, take the road on your left, go along there until you reach the underpass, and it's just on the opposite side." And I was nodding like I understood every word while internally absolutely falling apart.
Okay, wait, can we actually break those down? Because honestly, even I got a little lost, and I was just listening.
Let's do exactly that, because those are genuinely useful phrases. Go back the way you came means return in the direction you arrived from, retrace your steps. Take the second turning on the right means count the roads going to the right, and take the second one. A turning, by the way, is simply a place where you can turn off the main road, a junction, a side street. At the crossroads, a crossroads is where 2 roads cross each other, making a plus sign shape. And the opposite side means the other side, across from where you are standing.
See, when you explain it calmly like that, it sounds dead straightforward. But when a stranger is rattling it off at you on a pavement while you're already 20 minutes late, it is not like straightforward. It is chaos.
Did you get the second turning on the right, though? Like, did you count properly?
I thought I did. I went back the way I came. I counted 1 turning, 2 turnings, took the right, went past what I assumed was the old post office, which was actually just a regular post office that is still very much a post office, reached what I thought was the crossroads.
Wait, was it actually a crossroads, or was it like a T-junction?
It was a T-junction, Jake, which means it was not a crossroads. A crossroads goes 4 ways. A T-junction only goes 3. I did not know which road was my left at a T-junction when I was already facing sideways and panicking.
For listeners at home, Sophie is absolutely correct. A crossroads, as mentioned, is a 4-way intersection where 2 roads cross. A T-junction is where one road meets another and stops, forming the shape of the letter T. Knowing the difference matters, as Sophie discovered, quite painfully, on her anniversary.
Okay, so which way did you go?
I guessed. I turned left and walked along, and I found an underpass, which points for that, but the opposite side of the underpass was a car park. Just a big empty car park, not a restaurant.
Oh no.
Oh no is right. It is now 35 minutes since I left the house. My partner has ordered drinks and a bread basket. I am standing alone in a car park under a bridge.
At this point, Sophie did the only sensible thing she had not yet tried. She opened Google Maps. The lantern was, in fact, very close to her starting point. All she needed to do, according to the app, was go back the way she came, straight ahead past the roundabout rather than turning, and it was on the left-hand side, about halfway down the street.
Wait, so if I just said go straight ahead past the roundabout instead of turn left at the roundabout, she'd have been there in like 4 minutes.
4 minutes, Jake. 4 minutes and 0 car parks.
That is, honestly, I'm not going to say I feel bad, but I do feel bad. Like a little bit. Maybe 30% bad.
Sophie eventually arrived at the lantern 41 minutes late. She came in through the door, slightly windswept, slightly furious, to find her partner sitting at a beautifully set table, looking equal parts concerned and amused. The waiter, clearly a professional, simply smiled and asked if she'd like to see the menu.
And I sat down. I looked at my partner and I said, I went past the roundabout instead of straight ahead, took the wrong turning, ended up at a crossroads that wasn't a crossroads and stood in a car park. And he just handed me the bread basket and said, "Classic Sophie." And I mean, he's not wrong.
See, that's love right there. That's real love. He had the bread basket ready. That man was prepared for chaos.
He has known me for 6 years, Jake. He accounts for chaos in all plans involving me and anything to do with navigation.
And the dinner itself.
Dead good, actually. Proper lovely pasta, the candles were class, and we laughed about the whole thing for most of the evening, so it did end well. But I want it on record that Jake is never giving me directions again. Never, not even to the bathroom.
That feels a little extreme, but honestly, yeah. That's fair. That's completely fair.
Now, before we wrap this up, let's quickly gather the direction vocabulary we've picked up through this beautiful disaster. We had go straight ahead, meaning keep moving in the same direction, turn left or turn right, meaning change direction to the left or right side. Take the second turning on the right, count the side roads and take the correct one. A turning is a place where you can leave the main road. Go back the way you came, retrace your steps. At the crossroads, where 2 roads meet and cross. A T-junction, where one road meets another and stops. The opposite side, across from where you are. And of course, the underpass, a tunnel or path that goes under a road or railway, all genuinely useful, especially if Jake is giving you directions.
You know what? I've actually learned something today. Like, there is a real difference between a crossroads and a T-junction, and I genuinely did not know that before. So, in a way, Sophie's suffering was educational.
In absolutely no way was my suffering educational. But fine. If someone listening learned the difference between a crossroads and a T-junction tonight, I suppose my pain had some meaning. You're welcome, everyone.
And that is where we leave today's story. Sophie found the restaurant. The pasta was excellent. and somewhere in a city center, there is a chicken shop that had no idea it almost hosted an anniversary dinner.
If this made you laugh or cringe, or both at the same time, drop us a like. It genuinely helps more people find the channel.
And follow us so you never miss another story. There are plenty more where this came from, and most of them involve Jake doing something he probably shouldn't.
Subscribe to English Through Stories, new episodes every week, and your English will thank you for it.
See you on the next one, and please, for the love of everything, use Google Maps.